Hello world, universe, and everywhere in between. It's your friendly neighborhood midget here, coming at you with another drawing video. And today we are creating Aulo, the fawn character from Yūgen in the comic The Fool's Gold Guild, which I'm honestly getting more and more excited about the more characters that come to light, because I have a good feeling about what characters I want to make. And you've seen some of them. You've seen Arya and Alias Bjorn. If you follow my Instagram, it is. You've seen those characters, but most of the time I'm uploading them as they're being created. The only ones I wasn't uploading as they were being created was probably Gaius, Rowan, which are the two earliest posts I've ever put on Instagram of the characters from Fool's Gold Guild. Arya and Arn, those are the characters that I created first, and I didn't really have an Instagram account back then, but now that I do, I've been sharing those photos a lot. Here you can see me being a bit confused by the ear, because for me the ear didn't look quite right. He appeared to be fawn-like, but the only thing about him that was indicating to him being a fawn was his horns, which is like, oh, why would it? Why would anyone think he's anything more than a creature with horns? So I decided to give him a goat ear. Part of my inspiration for this came from Mr. Thomas again, because the character actually does possess inhuman-like ears. And here I'm just adding the Billy Goat beard, because I really like the idea of him just having a little scruff down at the chin. I think it would be really cute. You can see I'm just getting random notifications in from friends. I keep turning that off, but for some reason it's still coming out during recording, which is a pain in the ass, but what can you do? Alright, so here I'm just fixing up some of the things that I didn't get done in sketches when I was drawing it. And now I'm just going through the drawing and I'm adding in all the warmer lineup. I wanted to continue with the theme of the characters having a warm line art, so that way it gives them a very warm, very medieval-esque tone, because a lot of medieval artwork and things like that seem to revolve around using brown pencils and the color brown in order to give and it really does give that warm tone, which I really like. So yeah, here you can see I'm pausing a bit as I'm probably sorting something else out, I don't know. But yeah, I also wanted to implement the fact that this person is part goat, and I wanted to make it pretty obvious from their face to the rest of their body. And because the rest of their body isn't here, I had to add in as much details to do with goats as I can. As you'll see later on, I add in one interesting detail with the pupil, and I'll explain that when we get round to it. But yeah, I'm honestly really proud of how he came out. He honestly gives off this scruffy vibe that I wanted to give him, but at the same time he has this very what's the word? He has this somewhat solitary demeanor, while also being very being a very warm character. Now here you can see what I'm doing with the pupil. What I'm doing is I'm giving him a sideways pupil instead of giving him a regular one. I'm doing this because goats tend to have that weird sideways pupil in their eyes, and I thought it will drive home the idea of, yeah, this guy is part goat. I'm still trying to get the circulation it right, and here I think I did. And now I'm going to start off with the colouring. I wanted to give him black fur or black hair because I didn't want to completely copy Narnia. Even though it was the character from it was one of the biggest inspirations for this character, I wanted to make sure its appearance remained his appearance still remains somewhat original, hence the eye patch and things like that. Although the eye patch was also partially drawn in because I couldn't be bothered to draw the other eye. Yeah, I don't think that's going to come and haunt me later on. But I'm honestly hoping that the comic does do really well. I feel like it will. What I'm also going to start doing later on is I'm going to start working on a Minecraft world for the Fool's Gold Guild. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the I'm going to try and create the world of Merakai in Minecraft, and I'm going to plan on sharing it and making it available to my Patreons, because I think it would be really cool if people would want to go around and take a look at the world around them. You know, take a look at the world they enjoy reading about if they are a fan of my work. So that's really what I'm trying to get at here. Here I'm adding in the shading and the shadows for the character. I've mostly been trying to practice a lot when it comes to my blending, because a lot of the time I feel like I go a bit too harsh on the blending when it comes to shadows, so it really takes away the whole like shadow-esque of having shadows, which I hope I actually managed to rectify here. I'm pretty sure I did, but if I didn't, please, we both know you're going to end up bugging me about it in the comments anyway, so but yeah, I really think I got the shadow in here pretty spot on. I'm really happy with how that came out, because I swear to God, I was so worried that I was going to end up not looking off. Here I'm adding in the highlights, which, well, the first set of highlights that is, which is just a lighter grey, which I have made transparent so it doesn't overcrowd. And then I'm adding in the blending once again. This one I amped up the blending on a bit more. I amped up the heaviness of the blending a bit in order to try and blend out that in order to blend that out so it wasn't so segmented. And then I started adding little white highlights in order to add in that shine that we all want in our gorgeous hair, unless it's grease. Here I'm just combining the layers so it doesn't slow down too much, and now I'm figuring out what to work on next, because I'm indecisive, and I go straight for the skin. I wanted to create a pretty pale character for this, because he is from Yūgen, and Yūgen is mostly based on Norse and Gaelic lands. So I thought that it would suit him best if he was a very pale character. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. Going through adding the shadows again. I'm honestly happy with how the shading came out on this one. Usually I'm not too happy when it comes to shadows and shading. And here I'm getting a notification that my battery is low, so oh shit, I've been working too hard. I feel like I could blend the bottom lip a bit, but I'm actually just going to leave it as it is because I'm too lazy to rectify it now. Here I'm just going to add a bit of a blusher on his cheeks and his nose, just because we all have a bit of redness in those areas. I tried to add in that little spot where the Adam's apple was, but eventually I just gave in and left it as is. And here I had a bit of problem with the layers while I was combining them. Here I'm getting a start on the eye, and I wanted to go for a pistachio brown, like a mix between brown and green, which I think really suits the character because it makes the hair pop out as well. as well as the eye patch, which you'll see later on is going to be another shade of green. Here I'm just cleaning up the area a bit, making it look a bit more crisp. I wanted to make the shadow a bit darker, so I ended up going for a version of the outline, and I accidentally smudged the actual outline because I forgot to switch the layers like a dolt. So yeah. Here I'm going around again, once again crisping up and cleaning up the line art. And here I'm just going to go in and I'm going to add in the shadow underneath the eyelid, because you know we all have that little shadow there. Here I'm going to add in the greeny yellow of his eye patch. I'm really happy with the eye patch and things like that because I think it adds more to him. It really does add to that Narnia-esque inspiration for him. And just here I'm going to get a start on the horns, which I decided to make a dim brown. And once again you can see I forgot to plug in my charger, so yeah, that's a bit low. Just making sure to check the recording. And there we have it. So I'm just adding in the shadows here, and I'm pretty sure after this I am finished. So yeah, this was a relatively quick piece. I was surprised at how quickly it was done. Now, world, universe, and everywhere in between, thank you so much for tuning in, but I